This is season 3, episode 1, titled Write the Vision, Make It Plain. So, it's a phrase that is commonly used where you write things and they come into fruition. But today, we will talk about the aspect of writing the vision and making it plain with a book. With a vision and with an idea that can take you to places you did never knew it could take you. So, on this episode, we have one of my favorite people, Nikita.
Hey y'all.
She's an amazing Black woman who I've known for a short period of time, and I feel like I've known her for life. And she's overcome adversity, done marvelous things despite the enemy, and she has made life better than new. So, we are going to dive in, and I'm just going to ask her some questions on her book and allow her to tell you about better than new, overcoming things, and writing the vision and making it plain. So, let's get it started. The first question is, I'll let you tell the listeners what Better Than New is about.
Okay. So, Better Than New is a book that I co-wrote, and I went through a divorce about a year and a half ago, and it took about 3 years to write it, but basically it's a book that will help you navigate divorce. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be a divorce. It could be divorce, it could be a bad breakup, but my story personally is what is in this book about navigating divorce, redemption, and restoration. A lot of people go through bad breakups, they go through divorce, but they don't talk about how to get through it and how to get to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So basically it just breaks down how to navigate. What do you need to do? What do you need to do for yourself, for others, to get back to a place of healing and restoration and redemption.
Okay. So, in your positive impact and inspiration, what led you to write the vision and make it plain with Better Than New?
God.
Okay. Simple. So, he just put a nugget on you, or you feel like you talked to him about it, or how did that work?
So, when it was literally a vision. When he told us, her name is Lydia. Shout out to Lydia,
okay.
My co-author.
She's lit.
When he gave us the vision, and we literally had the vision at the same time, we both called each other, and literally God spoke it so clearly that everything that we were going through would be a book. We were like, nah.
Surely not us.
Plain and simple. We were not for it. But then God was like, no, everything that you're going through is not about y'all. It's not for you. It's not about you. Yes, you may be the one who is going through it, but my purpose is for others to get through what you're currently going through.
Okay.
So we wrote it down. We wrote it down and we made it plain, but we didn't know back then what the purpose was. We didn't know why he chose us to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know why, we had to go through pain for others, because that's what it felt like. Okay, God, if it's not about us, if it's not for us, then why do we have to suffer?
So you felt sacrificial in it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, we definitely wrote it down, not knowing that, what was going to be in the book. We knew the title, but we didn't have any chapters or what was going to be in it. We literally wrote it down, and over the course of 3 years, God, he made it plain. He literally guided us through what he wanted us to say.
That's beautiful. So now, let's go back. So before you were redeemed and restored, did you author anything else before this book?
Nope.
So this is the first thing ever.
Well, this is the first published thing, but when I was younger, I used to write poems. I had poem books, and I used to journal, but literally, this is the first thing that has been published.
And you're like, okay, this is it. Okay, so first one. So, since this was your first one, what common traps could you give to aspiring writers that they may face through the writing process?
Just keep going. remember why you started. That was for us because we would write and then give up, and then write a little bit more, and then give up. So to anyone who is aspiring to be an author or to even publish something or to write something, think about your audience and think about who you're writing it for, and knowing that no matter how long it may take you or what may happen during that time for you to write it, to keep going. No matter how long it takes you, 2 years, 1 year, 1 month, 2 days, whatever, just keep going.
Because you don't know.
You don't know.
Okay. So keep going. So what would you say would be the peak of the whole process of Better Than Me?
The peak for me is knowing how many people it's impacted. I can't even count how many texts, DMs, messages that people have written me on Facebook, on Instagram, to my phone, who have said, I'm going through a divorce and I came across your book, and where do I start?
Right.
Like, what do I do? Where do I start? This is where I am. And so for me, knowing that people see you when you don't even know people see you was the peak for me, because you realize in that moment that everything that you went through to get this out was all worth it.
And you can like, I did it.
Yes.
Little sigh of relief.
Yes.
So if that's the peak, being influential, impactful, helping people directly, indirectly, what would be the pit of the whole process?
The pit for me was staying the course. Like I said, it took 3 years. And that may not seem like a lot for
3 years, yeah.
some people, but to be writing a book that's not even that big, but the words
big,
in
though.
it is so powerful.
Oh my God, it's big. It's big.
Well, I mean, like big as in like length
Yeah.
and, pages, because I've seen thicker books and I'm like, how did they do it?
But sometimes fluff isn't everything.
Right, that is true. But the pit for me is that we wrote this book in the middle of our pain.
Ooh.
So the book is about navigating divorce, redemption, restoration. And we're telling people and teaching people and pouring into people how to get through something that we were still currently going through.
And it's like, you got hope.
So
But this is hard.
really, that's nothing but faith to speak from a place of healing when we weren't even, we were healed yet, because God said you're already healed.
Yeah.
But to speak from a place where you don't know what tomorrow looks like, and you don't know if you're going to be sobbing and crying in your closet or if you're going to be happy and go lucky. So to write a book to encourage other women and men, men read the book as well, to encourage them to say, hey, this is temporary. Hey, you're going to get through this.
Right.
Hey, you're going to make it to the other side. When that wasn't even our story in that moment when we were writing the book, that was probably the pit and the peak. Knowing that I'm speaking from a place of faith and not a place of this is what I currently have right now.
Okay.
We didn't have peace back then, but we have it now. We didn't have redemption then, but we have it now. We didn't have restoration then, but to be able to write that and speak it into existence, to see it now, is the beauty of it all.
Well, in navigating the book, did you have like writer's block at all?
Yeah. I mean, because when you're writing a book, you have to be intentional. Whether you say, okay, today I'm gonna write 2 pages, or I'm gonna write 500 words. So when you get ready, you carve out time. Okay, 8 o'clock I'm gonna write, and then you write, and nothing comes out on the paper. And it's so funny because I had writer's block, I wouldn't write until we intentionally had to write, or when it came to me. Like I have stuff on paper towels.
Napkins. I do that all the time.
Yes. Napkins, like I have to write it down, because it could be a dream. It could be while you're cooking. It could be while you're watching TV. You have to get it out.
You don't want to lose it.
Right. So for me, like whatever piece of paper was next to me, whatever napkin was next to me, you write it down as it comes to you because you know that you'll have to use that later.
I understand. I write my grocery list on napkins, so I can imagine the book. So, in Better Than New, I've wrote some notes on this on the side, and I've never been through a divorce, but I've been through tough situations, so I can say that this book is not just geared towards that. That is the foundation because that's what they went through. However, I learned some stuff about it, and I will say y'all were very vulnerable in the book. Y'all were very transparent, and I think people need to see that, because then it's like, okay, I'm not going through this alone, you know, or I can apply this to this situation, or they made it through and look at them now. So I think it's beautiful to see the journey. Like, we weren't there with y'all, but it's cool to see, like, and read, honestly, because when you read, you get lost in the story, and you're like, dang, this is what they were going through, and then now look at them. That's restoration in just reading that. So do you feel like now that you've done it, that your job is over?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Literally, I was, telling someone, as long as there are people who are going through bad breakups, going through divorce, going through just a tough time, because we say in the book, like, whatever your story is, replace divorce with the death of a friend or a family member. How do you get through that? Or, that relationship, abusive relationship, whatever it is that you've been through, replace divorce with that. And as long as there's an issue on that topic, and for us it was divorce, our work will never be done. We felt like, when God put this on our hearts for us to write, we knew that people would be impacted by it, and that we would be able to help them get through whatever they're going through. So we definitely know that our work is not done, and this is us. This is our purpose. This is our ministry. This is something that God has called us to do, and we have to continue to do our part.
So what advice would you give someone who is feeling hopeless or trying to navigate, feeling like they don't have any way out?
That's a good one. In short, keep going and trust God. I know that it sounds so cliche and so typical to say, but literally everything that I've been through, every part of my life, every bad thing, every good thing, it always points back to Him. And it's temporary. You go through things, and when you're in the moment, you feel like, man, like, when am I going to catch a break?
Me? I don't want to be Job in the Bible.
Right. And so you want to ask yourself, like, well, why am I going through this? Why not? Because you're going to be stronger than ever, and you may not see it in that moment, but keep going, one foot in front of the other, one day at a time. You don't have to worry about next week, next month, next year. Think about today.
Present. Okay.
Be present in the moment, grow where you're planted, and just seek the reason why you're in that season. Try to find the purpose in your pain. Try to find the purpose in what you're going through, because God uses everything. You may not see it, you may not feel it, you may not know it, but He uses everything, and so it's so important to keep going. Nobody stops in the middle of hell.
No.
You keep going.
I mean, why would you?
Right.
That's not the final place you want to be.
Exactly. So keep going. You may not know what it will look like later, but you have to keep going and trust God.
Okay. Yeah, I saw like an ant moving a worm, and worms are small, but ants are like small. So I'm like, if an ant can move a worm, like, girl, you can do a lot of things. So same with that. Keep going. Trust God. Okay. What would be your favorite thing from the book? Favorite story, favorite moment, favorite thing you put in there?
Having someone. It literally, I don't know many co-authors. I don't think I know any.
I'm thinking,
yeah.
If so, baby, like for a textbook?
Probably.
Hell no.
So that was probably the hardest part, because although we have the same voice, meaning we have the same purpose, we're two different people. So I think that the most favorite part of the book, my most favorite part of the book for me, is having someone to share that experience with.
Okay.
Because that's how we found each other. We found each other because we were both going through the same thing. And to have someone support you and pour into you, and you pour into them, and to be able to say, okay, we have this one purpose, let's put it on paper so that we could be a voice and a vessel to others. So definitely having a co-author to bounce ideas off of, and to just pour into each other, and to go through this journey not by yourself, because that's something tough to go through that alone.
Yes, I could never imagine.
So definitely,
and a lot of people don't have people.
Right. So having her was definitely probably the best part.
And speaking of that, do y'all have like any merch or anything to go with the book?
So,
or anything that y'all might come in?
We did have merch, or we do have merch. We actually, our second, I guess you can call it a book tour or a book launch that we did in Milwaukee, was solely based off of merch. It was at a print shop, so we allowed people we came up with like maybe 3 different prints, better than new prints, and we had people make their own t-shirts. We've always wanted to have merch, and it's coming.
Okay. We're going to wait for it.
It's definitely coming. It's definitely in the works. We have so many ideas, so many things that have been written down. We have a whole page of different merch ideas, so it's definitely in the works.
So y'all are still writing the vision and making it plain, even with the merch.
Tuned.
Okay. So where can they find the book? Where can they connect with you all? How can the people find you to help them become better than you?
So our website is LydiaandNikita.com. So that's LYDIA and Nikita, NIKITA.com, and you can also follow us on Instagram at IamBetterThanNew.com.
Okay.
Or I am better than you, not .com.
I am better than you. That's a cute little mantra too, though.
Yes.
I like it. Is there any last words you have for the listeners?
I just want to say that this book just isn't, like you mentioned, it just isn't for people who have, or who are going through, or who have gone through a divorce. This literally, this literally can be for anybody who's going through something. And we definitely wanted to speak to more than just people who are going through a divorce or who are navigating divorce. We really wanted to speak to others. No matter what you're going through, keep going. God is an amazing God, and He will not let you down. And I am a walking testimony of someone who has been through hell and back, but God.
He went through hell and back, God restored, God redeemed, and navigated. I love it. I'm here for it. I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for being a fabulous guest.